I would like to welcome you to the upper echelon. I want you to be honest and don't you lie. Don't you think of lying. Be for real. You're not a Bud Crawford fan. You just hate Spence, right? Hate it or love it, the underdog's on top. Bernard, you're a hater. Bernard, you're a hater.
I'm actually going to talk about Spence versus Crawford. Which, not just by using your boxing mind.
I like Bud. I like Crawford.
Okay.
I like Crawford. What? I like. Just take the experience. I think that he has more of that. That's a given. Everybody know he's been at these moments more than Spence. Spence is no joke. It's a fight that Crawford has to come ready. When did he never ever didn't come ready? We all know how Crawford is coming. We know that. We know how he can adjust when things is not going his way. We seen fights that he was in that the second half he turned it around. I haven't seen that type of threat or adversity in that way in a few fights or any fight that he had to actually change the game plan that he had coming in compared to what he settled in and took over. I believe the experience, I believe the age difference is not, in Crawford's situation, is not a factor. What is a factor is the moments in their careers that both fighters has been in, that Crawford has been at this stage mentally. He had to go through some rough business chances to get to this stage that is chopping at the bit. I like him in that fight.
You said that you haven't needed, Spence hasn't needed to make the adjustments like like the way Crawford has. Could that be maybe because what Spence does works off the bat and he just kind of dominant from that point where he doesn't need to make the adjustment because he's just rolling?
I think it's just his talent is showing that the guys he went up against, the quality guys that he went up against the guys that Crawford went up against, it's night and day. It's definitely night and day. You only who your opponents are. You only who your opponents are. You can be 30-0. I want to see the opponents you for to justify those 30-0. So I want to weigh the talent. I'm not saying everybody was lame ducks. They ain't had no damn chance going in. They didn't even have a chance at the damn press conference, let alone at the weigh-in. So we're going to get to the damn fight. You telling me there's a possibility? There's upsets in cases, and there are surprises. There are upsets, and there are surprises.
With all due respect, aren't you the same boxer that said he would never lose to a white boy? You got knocked out the ring by Joe Smith, and Kovalev gave you the worst whooping of your career. But hold up, let me introduce this upper echelon in the building, and Bernard Hopkins. I'm gonna go kind of slight on you because the way you talking, I'm thinking you getting some damn brain damage from all them hits to the head. And I'm gonna go ahead and say this: you was a very good boxer. You gave us a lot of years, and you've had a long, illustrious career. But one thing I can say that separates you and Earl, y'all record was never the same because you started your career 0-1. You didn't even start as a winner. You was always playing catch up, so you don't know what it is to be a winner, to start from that winning field. And see, you also was a dirty fighter. You brought out all the dirt and all the tricks of the trade. Anything that was dirty that you could do in a boxing match, you would do it, Birdie. Yeah, Bernie. What I don't get is y'all keep talking about their resumes and who they fought, and one fought one and one fought like y'all keep putting all this great precedence on everybody that Crawford fought. And Earl, talking about Earl fighting nobodies, if you think about it, you got it completely backwards. Earl has the more impressive resume and the more fighting statistics that you talking about, the accolades maybe Crawford has, but Earl has the names. He's had the fighters. I'll give you a side-by-side comparison, Bernie, because I don't understand where you come with this. This is the last 15 fights. Number 15 for Crawford is his best fight, and that's Yuriorkis Gamboa. Had Noe. Then he had Ray Beltran against Francisco Castro. Thomas Delorme versus Samuel Vargas. Jerry Dean versus Phil LaGreco. Hank Lundy, that's another good fighter, versus Chris Van Heerden, which is a good fighter. Victor Postile versus Alejandro Barrera. You got John Molina Jr. versus Chris Algieri. Felix Diaz versus Leonard Bundu. You got Julius Idongo versus Kell Brook, the champion in England. Then you got Jeff Horn versus Lamont Peterson. Then you have Jose Benavidez, one leg been shot, versus Carlos Ocampo, 23-0. Then you have Amir Khan, knocked out, washed up, versus Mikey Garcia. Then you have Mean Machine, Sean Porter in his prime with the championship belt. Then you have Kell Brook that's been beat already years prior and with a belt and eye socket injury later. Kell Brook against Danny Garcia. Then you got 1 foot out the door, done retired, Sean Porter versus Yordenis Ugas, who undoubtedly beat him in the fight, but they gave it to Sean Porter. So we're gonna say Crawford's best fights. First, what we're gonna do, we're gonna take away Sean Porter and Kell Brook off both of their resumes, right? If we do that, Yordenis Ugas, Danny Garcia, Mikey Garcia, and Lamont Peterson could beat anybody on Terrence Crawford's resume. Those 4 fighters right there could beat anybody on that resume that Crawford has. Either one of them, you guys could wash everybody on there. Danny Garcia could wash everybody on there. Mikey Garcia most definitely would wash everybody on that list. And Lamont Peterson would beat everybody on that list. Hell, Leonard Bundu might either. With the 2 same names took away, you gotta wash the Amir Khan and a Jose Benavidez with 1 leg. Jeff Horn and Julius Indongo. None of them fighters will beat the 4 that I said. Victor Postol, no. Hank Lundy, he was a great fighter, but he was way too small. But he did give Bud fits in the fight when he was beating on him, when he was switching up, and Bud used his weight to stop the man. But Gamboa was his best win, because taking that from him, Gamboa was a monster back in them days. He was one of my favorite fighters as well, until he went through a whole bunch of adversity and some BS going through his thing. But that's a solid win for Crawford. But Danny Garcia, Mikey Garcia, Lamont Peterson, Ugas will wash everybody on Crawford record. But they sitting there talking about Earl hasn't fought nobody. No, Crawford hasn't fought nobody. And he hasn't fought the talent that he needs to fight a guy like Earl Spence.
I like to see him fight anybody at the top.
Is there a name in particular that you think
Well, look at the division. Take on another champion. We can clear all this stuff up real easy. And the drama part is part of the hype and building things up. But unification is what I always stood for.
Yeah.
So unification of these champions in all divisions is something that I might not live to see it, but hopefully I will be the best thing for everybody, because now you know who's who. And the second guy that comes in second of being undisputed, or if they say champion of being undisputed, behind undisputed, they would have to always have a goal to reach, right? You ain't really get it until you get all the belts. Let's take it back old school and the new school. Let's take this thing back in the old school to new school. So we're in the new school now, 2022.
Yeah.
You know, this ain't the Similac baby era.
Yeah.
Let's take the sugar and water era.
Yeah.
it's something else here. So I'm with that. And then let's mix a little bit of that, mix a little bit of this, and we got a great recipe.
Yes, that's one thing I can say you did. You did unify the belts. You was the first undisputed Mr. Bernard Hopkins. Shout out to that and kudos to you. And I appreciate everything you've done for the sport of boxing. Even the fact that you said you'd never get beat by a white boy. And right behind that, Sergey Kovalev beat you the worst of your career. And we don't want to talk about Joe Smith Jr. And after that, let's just go like this. What do you think Earl Spence is doing? He went and fought Kell Brook in the UK for the strap, Sean Porter for the strap, Yordenis Ugas for the strap. Now he's trying to fight your boy Bud Crawford. So he's trying to get the straps together so after he do this, he can move up and do it in junior middleweight. So he's doing what you're saying. He's trying to get the straps together. So how are you faulting him? And how are you saying he hasn't fought nobody when he's done knocked off all the top welterweights in the division except for Crawford? And he has a target on Crawford, and except for Keith Runtime Thurman. But now Keith want to fight him, but Keith didn't want to fight him when he had a chance. Yeah.
He also, Spence also tweeted you. He said he wanted you to provide paperwork regarding Virgil Ortiz's illness. What do you make of that? He was kind of firing back from when you questioned his eye injury being legitimate.
Oh, he sent it. Did he put it out?
Yeah, he tweeted it out.
But did he put it out?
He tweeted it out. Oh no. The proof he didn't put it out. He didn't put out.
So why are you asking me to do something he didn't do? See, why you let somebody? Why you being a messenger so you can go ahead and get punched in your head by somebody else, not by me? See, never be the messenger. Didn't you watch The Godfather? The messenger always get the bad end of the deal. So watch yourself leaving out this door, because I ain't gonna touch you. I'm gonna protect you. I don't even know what's gonna happen, but just make sure that you don't pass a message that really don't make sense, because I think you'd have been more confident saying that if he would have showed what I requested. So how you can't, like, I ain't gonna tip my hand for free. Matter of fact, I ain't gonna tip my hand at all.
Bernie, you always about controversy. See, you've been hating on Earl from the start. And it's crazy because your career was full of controversy. Just like when you did a promo for the Tito fight, you threw the Puerto Rican flag on the floor in New York and Puerto Rico press conference. And you started a riot in the Puerto Rican. You had to be rushed to safety. You know what I'm saying? And then everybody left Golden Boy of color but you. You seen all the stuff that was going on around, how they were backstabbing and treating and putting other people on the shelf and how they were showing favoritism, but that was okay with you as long as you got your bread, right? Now, November 04, Oscar named Bernard the president of the East Coast chapters. So, if you was ahead of the East Coast chapters, why the black fighters get treated so badly? Because you is in a place of power, a position of power. Why didn't you use your influence to make sure black fighters got treated more fairly and got promoted more fairly? Why did you not do that? Or was you too busy worried about your own self and your own financial gain? Started some ridiculous conspiracy theory talking about Earl Spence ducked Pacquiao. You don't believe he had a retina tear and he's scared of Manny Pacquiao and he knew he was gonna get beat. That's why he trying to run, because he ain't never fought nobody. And dude, do you listen to yourself? Now I'm really starting to think them shots that you took to your head has affected your brain. And this is a real thing. Brain damage is a real symptom. And I feel sorry for you if that's the case. Because Earl would not duck his legacy fight. That's the fight that he wants. And you sitting there talking about proof. The man had proof. The doctors came out. The man had a patch on his eye. The man had the interview with the doctors. Dude, what are you asking for? Like, it's in your face and you still won't accept the truth because you rather take a lie than accept Earl the truth. Exactly. But let's talk about this. Virgil Ortiz was hospitalized because he lost too much weight too fast. But you ain't want to put them things out there, right? That means because he was too big to be fighting in his division and he tried to lose weight with a crash diet. And his body crashed. His body crashed like you did on your pro debut when you lost that fight. And you've been chasing greatness ever since. But you can hate on Earl because he's going to keep laughing all the way to the bank. And Earl has 0 losses. Your first fight was a loss. You lost to Joe Smith, Sergey Kovalev, Chad Dawson. Man, you got Joe Kawasaki, Mr. Don't Lose to White Boy. You lost to daggone Jermaine Taylor, Robert Allen, Sergio Mercado, Roy Jones, Clint Mitchell. So, hell, you got a lot of losses on your record too. But I can't say you fought the best of the best and you fought till you was 50. But you know, if you was more responsible with your money and had a retirement plan, you wouldn't have did that. So you need to stop trying to hate on Spence, because if you look, your boss, the Golden Boy, he's trying to court Spence. Spence, why don't you come on down here to Golden Boy? We can make some money. You steady trashing Spence while your boss is glorifying him. Spence, man, we can make some real big money. You sign with Golden Boy. I guess he ain't talked to you about that, huh? That shows where you rank at on the pay grade system. I bet he'll get rid of you to sign Spence. So don't think that your position there is tenuous, because, man, you just another dude to fill the spot, man. You they quota. You know, affirmative action came in and they got you so they could say they got one. Yeah, so stop hating, because Spence gonna keep going all the way to the top.